Hi, I'm Jamie, and this is my late April book haul. So I recently got out of a year-long book buying ban. I got to the point where half the books on my shelves were on my TBR pile, and I kind of hated it. It felt like I was more collecting books than I was reading them. I forced myself to read through my TBR pile. I just stopped buying books, except it kind of had this negative effect where I ended up in the worst reading rut ever, and I stopped reading. So a couple months ago I kind of got fed up with it and I started buying books again, and I'm reading again, and all is glorious and well. Anyway, I have 20 books to show you, half of which I've read. I think 50% is my average. And I guess I'll just get started. I got the Culture series, books 1, 2, and 3 by Iain M. Banks. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. And it starts with Consider Phlebas, the player of games, and the use of weapons. I heard that the second and the third books in this series are a lot better than the first ones. So I have started Consider Phlebas, and so far it's about a guy who can change his form. He has all these modifications that he does to himself. So he was working for the Iridians, which are one side of this war, as an imposter for a culture agent. And his ship gets attacked and he ends up out the airlock in a suit, sort of stranded, and that's where I am right now, so I don't really know what else is gonna happen. I picked up Shadow Study by Maria V. Snyder. This is the sequel to the Poison Study series, which I haven't read yet. So all I can tell you about this one is that it's with the same set of characters, and if you don't know anything about that one, it's about a girl who gets captured and is given the choice to just die right now, or she can be a poison taster for some military man and potentially die in a couple days, in a week, in a month, in a year. And she picks poison tester. And it's got magic in it, and it's fantasy, and I think it sounds really good. I bought this book. It's proof that I'll read the trilogy eventually. So the next one I got is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I have read this one already and loved it. The world is basically split between Silverbloods and Redbloods. Redbloods are the peasant, lower class, poor folk, and Silverbloods have all the wealth. They live in castles, they're the powerful ones, and they also have special abilities. But a red named Mare ends up with an ability of her own and sort of is thrown into this world and sort of portrayed as a silver, even though she's a red. It's high fantasy, it's good, it's kind of like Graceling, except better. And then I got 2 books on bargain, which is probably why I haven't read them yet. Because I think that's the thing, is half of my books I buy on bargain, so they sound good, but I don't pay full price for them, so I'm not that invested in reading them. Anyway, the first one is a murder mystery, and it's Snow White Must Die. It's international bestseller! It was cheap, so I bought it. The second bargain book I got was The Incrementalists. So this one's focused around a secret society who are basically reincarnated every time they die. That way they can carry on the knowledge that they collect. And it's about this guy named Phil who has sort of completed the most incarnations and the girl he loves. So I'm an idiot. The Outlander series is one of my favorite, and so I wanted to read the books. So I read the first one and I bought it, which is Outlander, which I mean, gorgeous. I mean, not to say anything, but Jamie is a fantastic name. How cute would a couple be where the 2 people have the exact same name? Just saying. This is a series about a girl who goes back in time. She starts off post World War II and then goes back to, what's it, 1700s? 1700s Scotland, and sort of has to adjust and figure out a way to traverse this new world. And she ends up meeting a hot Scottish ginger with a very amazing name, if I don't say so myself. But she ends up falling for him, and they face all these problems, and I mean, she's a modern day woman. She's feminist. She's not going to be controlled by men, trying to struggle through a very patriarchal society, and it's funny. If you haven't read this one, it's really good, and I bought it, and then I was like, I'll read the next one, and I'm going to get ahead of the series, And I bought the third one, which is Voyager, instead of buying the second one. The second one is Dragonfly in Amber, or something like that. So now I'm stuck. I've read the first one and I can't continue on because I'm an idiot. So I read Tess by Thomas Hardy this month, and I liked 95% of it. I was really invested in Tess and Angel and their romance, and I wanted them to end up together, but I didn't like the ending, like, at all. It kind of comes out of left field, and you're like, what? But 95% of it was really good, and I liked it, and I wanted to read more Thomas Hardy, so I picked up Far From the Madding Crowd, and then I was like, these copies are amazing, so I picked up North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. This is about Margaret Hale. If you haven't seen the BBC production of this, watch it, because Mr. Thornton is, whew, good looking. But it's about Elizabeth Hale, who moves with her father and mother to an industrial town up north. She lived in sort of a peaceful southern town before, and her family gets involved with a cotton mill owner, Mr. Thornton, and she's again another modern day woman with modern day ideals, struggling through a very patriarchal society, and she's not afraid to tell him when he's being an idiot, and all this drama occurs, and it's just really good, and I liked it. It's sort of my equivalent to Pride and Prejudice, because Pride and Prejudice really isn't my favorite. And then I bought a couple popular ones. Ones that everybody's been hyping about that I thought I should read and I wanted to read. The first one is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. It has this really nice intricate plot where it wraps the lives of Marie Lou, who is a young blind French girl hiding in a French town while the Germans invade during World War II, and a young Nazi military boy named Wenger as he sort of gets introduced to the army, and it's really intricate and really beautifully written. And the next one, which I will probably be picking up very soon, is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I think it's pretty much common knowledge by now, but it's about a guy who can travel between different versions of London. There's Red London, White London, Grey London, and Black London, and it's supposed to be really funny. I'm really excited to read this one. Everybody says it's great. I have no doubt that it won't be. And so then I got a book on vacation because I ran out, but I didn't end up reading it. And it's The Longest Ride by Nicholas Sparks. This is a love story entanglement thing between a sort of big company conglomerate CEO type lady who falls in love with a bull rider. So the next book I have is Lisa Donnell's The Death of Bees. So this one's about two sisters, Nele and Marnie. Marnie's the older one. They have been living with deadbeat parents in a very grungy part of Glasgow. For being such a grungy book about really dismal topics, it was very uplifting and very light and very enjoyable, and I really liked it. So the next one I picked up is Jendy Nelson's I'll Give You the Sun, which hands down 10 stars just for having a homosexual main character in a YA book. And I really like this one a lot because it's artistic, not in the fact that it's written in all this flowy language, which it is, but it's about artists. And it's about two twins who go through a really rough time and end up growing apart, and they're trying to get back together, but all this stuff has come between them. But anyway, I really liked it. It's really interesting. It's a good book to read while sitting in the sun. No pun intended. And then I picked up The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This is a murder mystery one where a girl, her name is Rachel, and she sits on the train every day and passes by this couple's house, and when the woman in the relationship goes missing, she feels it's her duty to sort of come forward with what she's seen over the past couple of months. This next one, read again. I've been reading a lot lately. Proud of myself. It's Andy Weir's The Martian. So it's sort of this basic guy trapped in space story. There are a million movies made about this, but this one I would really recommend. So this one was really funny. Mark Watney is blindly optimistic all the time, and so you'll read a part and it'll be the end of a log, and he will be talking about how he can do this, he can beat Mars, he can survive those days until the next sort of crew comes down to Mars and he can do this. And then you'll flip the page, he'll be like, screw Mars, this stupid planet's gonna kill me, I'm screwed. And it was just, the sort of bipolar effect that it gives is just really funny, and I really enjoyed this one. And it was really light, and it was really quick to read, and I loved it. Okay, so this last one is actually the second book I've ever gotten with an author's signature, and it's Karen McQuestion's From a Distant Star. She sent me a message asking if I wanted to read this one, given how much I love sci-fi, and she wrote a little dedication, which the only other book I have with an author's signature is the John Green one, where he signed like 10,000 or something like that copies. So I was really excited to get this one in the mail. It's about a girl whose boyfriend sort of gets into this terrible accident and he ends up recovering, but he doesn't really seem like himself anymore, and there's this kind of speculation that maybe it isn't her boyfriend anymore. It sounds really interesting and I really want to read it. So that's it, 20 books, like promised. Thanks for watching, sorry for the delay, and I'll see you very soon. I don't know.